It's time for technical difficulties with your boy. Me. That's right, me. Hey, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. But fuck it, that's what I say. Let's stream. I just got out of watching Thor: Love and Thunder, so I figured, hey, let's talk about it, I guess. I need to redeem some kind of sanity after watching that. I think I died of boredom. I died of rigor mortis of the face. My face did not move the entire movie. I think I stone-faced that entire movie. It was... We'll get into it. We'll get into it, okay? But let's say hello to everybody in the chat. M. Harrison, 35. What's up, peace? Frag, what's up? First in the chat. I see you over there. Marty Art. Dude, you're up freaking late, dog. At this point, it's morning time. What? Jesus. Fear's the Mind Killer. 8:45-ish in the morning? Are you in the UK? Matthew Spathis, what's up, bro? What's happening, Matthew? Az isn't here for me to push off. I can't push him off of a building right now. Oh, you're up early? Okay, sweet. Sweet. Slick Rick. Garrett had a disappointed dad face through the whole movie. Yes. I was just... The whole time. Just sad. Little darker. John Smith. That's not your name. Don't try to trick me with that generic name. If it is your name, damn. It's almost so generic that it's not generic. It's like reverse generic. It's like rare at this point. So I take it back. Damn, you got a rare-ass name. Daniel Roth. What's up, Daniel? The common nerd. How's it going? Same time as you, Garrett. It's my Friday. Oh. Well, what? It's 2 in the morning, bro. It's 2 in the morning, dude. That's really your name? Dude, I told you, it's back. It came back around from being like a really generic name to like being a full-on, very specific name that I think nobody would name their kid. But you have it. Good job. Dude, okay. I'll give you, if I remember, I'll give you a rating. But I want to talk about the film first. I'm sorry, film. That's too much. That's giving the film too much credit. It's not a film. It's more of like product, really. It's further product from the Marvel Studios, presented by Kevin Feige, by the way. He wanted to make that very clear. Presented to you. A Kevin Feige production. Said it like 5 times. But, okay. I'm going to spoiler this movie. So I'm sorry. But there's not really anything to spoil. It's kind of... I mean, I don't know. It really is hard to remember if anything is important in the movie. I guess there's some spoiler things, but I mean, I'm sorry, bro, if you care. I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. So we're going to go to it. John Smith, the most rare name on earth. And I'm serious about that. You just saw me in real time change my mind. I changed my mind. Welcome to the Biden dollar menu level. I'm sorry, it's $2, but it's Biden's America. It would normally be the regular 99 cents for a double bacon cheeseburger or whatever it is that's on the dollar menu. I don't know. But now it's $2. That's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles. Matthew Spathis for $10. That's a hiya. There we go. I think I got it. I refuse, man. I cannot do it anymore. I will not give them another penny by choice. What the hell happened to good storytelling? Dude, I have no idea but it has long left us. It has long left us. Drinker said serious was not an option in this, apparently. No, that is one of the critiques that I have, is the... If you've ever heard the kind of explanation of what a Marvel joke is and why it's in a Marvel movie, it is to make it for the audience can't get too afraid, okay? They can't get too emotional about something. They can't, really, they need to stay right in the middle, okay? Because we can't offend anybody in any way. So, as soon as a scene gets serious, and somebody might accidentally have an emotion when they watch the movie, that's when you put in your Marvel joke. And I am not shitting you. It happens every single line for the first 45 to 50 minutes of the movie. It does not stop. It is every fucking line. It is ridiculous. My wife turned to me, and this was a great observation. She turned to me and she said, aren't there like movies like this where they make fun of superhero movies? And I was like, oh, you're talking about like the spoof movies. The movies that came out in like 2005, like the 2010s, where it was like Scary Movie, which was the original and the best one. And then it came out with Epic Movie and all that stuff, and they had a superhero movie. That's what this movie felt like. This movie felt like a spoof of superhero movies. It did not ever take itself serious. And the moment that you almost got a part where it was like, oh, that might be a serious. Oh, no, there's a joke. There's a not even a funny joke. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Taika Waititi is funny. He is a funny guy and a funny writer. If you've watched any of his stuff that's not involving Marvel Universe and not followed his Twitter account, he's funny. So he can be funny in small doses. And this movie is not a small dose. It is a massive dose. They let him just... I don't know if it's like they put it in there on purpose and they were like, hey, Taika Waititi, we need more jokes in this movie. Make it more of a comedy. But he overdid it. And that style of jokes that he has is very... I don't know. It's not useful after the second time you hear the similar style joke that he does. It's very like, oh, I'm awkward and out of place, and I've said line that is awkward at this moment. That's his joke, like every single time. It's like, oh, I didn't mean to say that, but I'm blubbering and oops, I don't fucking find that funny. And every once in a while, a joke will land. But if you could cut out all of the extra jokes, it might be good. It'd be like, oh, okay, there's a joke every once in a while and it lands pretty well. But this is like a shotgun. It's like boom, 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 blowing out jokes every line. God, it was not. That is, I think, out of everything, that is what pissed me off the most about it. And not even really pissed me off, more just like bored me to death. I went with my wife and her sisters and their boyfriends. And my wife was not laughing. She laughed at it like every once in a while. Kind of like what I was saying. Like every once in a while a joke would land. But I don't think any of us really laughed. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if they even laughed. There may be like a chuckle here and there. But most of it was very... And then we walked out of the theater. Nobody's talking. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's like, oh man, you remember that? Dude, whenever he... And then she like came down. None of that. It was like we walked out of a funeral, man. It was so somber. And this movie's like popcorn movie. We got freaking Thor, the god of thunder, and he's freaking gonna vanquish some people, and we have metal music and Guns N' Roses and stuff, right? Yeah. Just that's the kind of energy I want walking out of a comic book movie. I want to put pencils in my eyes. I was just... And I could hear the audience chuckle. More, obviously, way more than me. I'm sitting there. I know what I'm seeing is supposed to be funny. It's not connected, man. It's none of that connected. It just did not. And they had these goats. And these goats are annoying as fuck. Okay, so they're you know the meme. I hate meta jokes as well. I fucking hate meta jokes unless it's like something like Airplane, like way in the back, like way back then. Very meta jokes about now times I fucking find unfunny. But you remember the meme of the goats that when they get scared, they scream. Right? They did that in this movie. They have these two goats, and yes, I know they're from the comic books, but they're just like constantly screaming, and it's supposed to be like haha funny, and I'm like, no. It worked like maybe once. Maybe once. I almost broke this facade of stone. It was whenever they were like flying in and they hit a planet or something, and they like smacked and they went, ah! Like that was the only time, and I think it was just purely the timing. And deep down my body was like, please give me some emotion. And it decided to try to jump out at that moment. But man, it's just, that is the style of the movie. Just horrid jokes. Fear is the mind killer. Welcome to the 8-ball cultist level. But dude, there's not a lot of you guys. I think there's 5 of you now. But it's super secret, and you like, don't talk about it. You'll know, you know what's up. 8-ball. Actually, let's ask a question. Will I recover from this movie? Cannot predict now. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how I go. Kung Fu hot dog for 5 British pounds. Good morning. Good morning. Hell, Garrett. Playing video games instead of watching Thor 4. Yeah, fucking, I wish I did. Tracy Morgan as a black Professor X is way more funnier to watch. Keep on rocking, brother. Keep on rocking. Ah, dude. Okay. So, aside from the movie's really like a comedy. There's no other way to kind of categorize it. It's an action movie, I guess, but it's really just a comedy that fashions itself as like a comic book movie action thing, but it really is not. This movie starts with a prologue, and it kind of just starts, and maybe it was just the way that the theater presented it to me. Hey, what's up, Bashy Washy? But it just kind of started, and it starts up from black, fade in, to Christian Bale walking through the desert with his daughter. Of course, it's a daughter, but she moves. He's like, oh, they're like dehydrated and they got sunburns all over them. They're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna die. And they're laying down, and he's watching her. It's supposed to be kind of like it's hit you in the heartstrings, right? And I don't know, maybe I'm a psychopath or something, but I did not feel it. I did not feel it. The little girl just had no facial emotions, and that's, you know, it's not her fault, but I mean, you can find kids that are naturally more expressive, but it was almost looking like what my face was for the rest of the film. Just complete stone. And I was like, are they they're supposed to be in a bad situation where they're dying, and he's like crying, and of course he's good. I mean, he's Christian Bale, he's gonna be great. But she was just nothing. Got nothing. But anyways, explains that he's got this God that he's like, oh, we're praying to the God. They show him like kneeling and bowing and praying to his God and saying, please help us. And oh no, he was like, please help my daughter out of this situation. He was like, I don't pray for me, I pray for her, whatever, blah blah blah, right? So they show him, and he's got her, and then she's passing away, and she's like, I'm sleepy. She goes to sleep, and she dies. Then he comes across this oasis. And in the oasis is a couple of brothers, and they're playing a song. Now, and then there is, he jumps in the water, and he gets drinks, and he's like, oh my gosh, there's fruit. What is this? And he eats all the fruit. And then he looks up, and his God is there. the God that they were praying to before, and he's like, oh my God, you are my God, and please, your majesty or whatever, your whole flock is gone. I'm the last person that believes in you because we've had famine and death and pestilence and we've all died, and I'm the last one. Please, can you bestow upon me the fucking, I don't know, reward or whatever for believing in you? And the guy is like, again, this is like a minute into the movie. This very serious shit just happened. His daughter died, man. He's on the brink of death, and he's seeing his God, and he's like prostrating himself, like, oh my God, please bestow upon me the reward of believing in you. And the character that plays his God, the guy is just so silly. And the CGI, the CGI is horrible. It is bad. They do this weird thing where they take the guy's head, and I'm assuming that none of what he's wearing is real. It's probably all CGI as well. But his face, and then they stick it on top of a Gumby-looking motherfucker's body. It's like this CGI gross. I don't even know why they CGI'd him. It was just a normal body. It was just yellow. I don't know why Disney does this. They have to CGI fucking everything in these films. I don't know why. But it's also very obvious that they shot in the volume. If you don't know what the volume is, it's the same thing that they developed for The Mandalorian, where he's like, the actor is actually in a location and they could like digitally project all of the background onto this big giant like TV wall. Which is good. I like the idea of it, and I like the fact that you can put physical objects on the set and it's real light bouncing off. That's really awesome. I don't think the technology is quite there yet. Close, but it doesn't look great. And I can tell when, like, there are scenes in this movie that are shot on actual sets that are large, and then there are scenes where you could feel that they are shot in the volume, because everything is it looks like a stage backdrop, kind of matte painting, and you could tell a lot. Like this scene in the beginning, some of the Thor fight, like almost every single fight scene takes place on a vaguely empty plain with things far, like 30 yards away from them in the background, but they never quite get close to an actual object. You know what I mean? That kind of feel. I don't know. It's hard to explain if you don't see it. Because that's like, you think of The Mandalorian, shot on a lot of empty plains where about 30 feet away there's some objects in the background, not the foreground, that, kind of, oh look, we're in a location, but really not. Obi-Wan Kenobi, both freaking lightsaber fights took place in a vaguely empty backdrop with nothing in the background, or it was in a very small circular area. Anyway, just something I don't like about the way they use it now, and I don't think it's quite where it needs to be. I think it needs to be like much bigger. If they're going to do this set kind of thing, they need to do it, and I'm sure it costs like millions of dollars, but they need to do it like at a hangar size. Like go rent out one of like a giant plane hangar and do it that big. Because the way they have it now, it's really not big enough to feel like it's a different location. But anyways, so he like, oh God, please help me. And the God makes fun of him and jokes about him, and he's like, oh, you think that we're presenting you all this food because you're my believer? No, we're celebrating because we just killed this person that had the fucking the very super special weapon that kills gods very specifically. That is its job. The job of this sword is to specifically kill gods. This is what the god tells him. He's like, oh, we just killed this man. He has the magical sword of whatever the fuck, whatever the name is. It kills gods. Anybody that touches it, comes like has a curse on him or something. And then he fucking is like standing there. He starts to choke the guy because Christian Bale is like, oh, you you're completely failing me, and because I believed in you, and you're really an asshole. So I renounce all of whatever. So he like holds him by the neck, and obviously, dude, not Jorminger, not that, different god. Obviously, what is going to happen is going to happen. He gets the sword and kills him, kills the god that knew the sword was a magical sword specifically created to kill gods. He was like, nah, whatever, nothing's gonna happen, I'm fine. Jesus. So that's the open of the movie, and he's like, oh, I got the power, and I promise you that all gods will die. All right, sets it up. Boom, we got our lame Marvel reveal that somehow the music is not as good, even though they're playing the same music that I've always listened to, like the da, 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 right, what's going through the Marvel logo. Somehow it just doesn't sound as good. Maybe it's just my brain, but it just didn't feel as like punchy as it used to. It wasn't as loud. Maybe that's just the presentation in the theater. Could be me. But it just didn't have that. After that, we meet up with, it starts off with Korg or whatever his name is, talking about Thor. Let me tell you the story about the space Viking, blah, 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 right? You've seen it all in the trailer. He talks about him. Basically just kind of a recap of his whole life. It's like, oh, he was cocky, then he found love, and then he realized that he was a guy, like, supposed to do good, and then he was worthy again, and then he died, like he lost his brother, and he lost his brother, and he lost his brother because he died twice or 3 times. They basically just recap his whole story in this movie. Then we catch up with Thor at, like, basically like what he's been doing since the Endgame, as is he's been going around the galaxy with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a fucking bait and switch, because the trailer makes it look like, oh, he's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the setup in Endgame makes it feel like, oh, he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to see some Guardians of the Galaxy romp. No, they're in the movie for like a minute. Okay? They're not in this movie very much. So basically, we catch up. They explain how he's, for some reason, out of nowhere, they bring up this big love need that Thor has. Thor needs love because he had love, and then he lost love, and now he's sad and lonely, and he doesn't want to be a superhero anymore because he needs love. It's very kind of contrived reason to have this like theme of love, which it's not even really a strong theme in this movie, which is funny because it's called Love and Thunder. But I mean, I guess it's the theme, right? Because the Christian Bale loves his daughter, and Thor loves Lady Thor, and Lady Thor loves Thor, and King Valkyrie loves Bush. I guess it's the theme. I guess that's the theme. But I don't know. It didn't ever feel good. It didn't feel like a good theme, and it didn't feel like it was a strong theme in the movie. Mind you, this is also after the previous scene with the jokes in it from the god, just acting silly. Now we're with Thor, and the whole open with Korg talking, because Korg is nothing but a 100% comedy character. He says nothing that is ever serious at any point. If you could see the inside of his character, and it would like read out how much comedy and how much seriousness and how much, love or emotion, it would all just be a complete comedy. There's no other aspects to his character whatsoever. The Rock character. We show up. We do actually have a pretty cool opening for Thor. So like they're on this planet. Again, it's a very vaguely open planet with rocks. Right. We got it. Right. He's fighting these owl creatures and defending somebody's temple and stuff. And it's actually a pretty cool scene. It has good music, and he actually is pretty badass in it. And I'm like, I do like Thor. I think Thor's a cool character, and I think Chris Hemsworth is a good actor, and he's charismatic, and he's interesting to watch. Right? So I'm like, I remember. Yeah, this is badass. Could this be the whole movie, please? And the movie's like, hold up, I got a joke for you. So he's like whipping these owls' asses, and they're riding these motorcycles, and he's throwing his axe at them and busting shit and punching them and kicking them, and he does the split move thing on the two bikes that are going, like, they come in, and he does the splits between it, and then he jumps up and they smash. And it's like, yeah, this is some good comic book fun. And that is like all of the comic book fun you get in this movie. It is like that, and that's it. Like, if you want comic book fun, this ain't the movie, okay? This is all about romance and literal jokes every 5 seconds. Like, if you took a shot every time there was a joke, you would be dead by half of the movie. You straight up just would not exist anymore. Ooh, Epic Mike in the chat. What's up, Epic Mike? I see you. George for $9.99. Hiya. Hiya. All hail, brother. Hail, brother. Did Valkyrie go all Lollapalooza? Man, why do you always throw these words to me and I make me look like a retard? Always enjoy your streams. I think, bro. I appreciate you here. Lick a lot of puss. Lick a lot of puss. There are a few moments which I will get to. I will get to those. Thanks, bro. I'm working on these locks. Just kidding. I don't try at all. Anyways, as you can see, man, I was sidebar. I was recording that last video, the last Ezra video I did, and then I recorded the whole thing. I sat down, and I'm going to point it out, so now you're going to see it. There's like hair sticking off to the side like this. The whole fucking video. The whole video. I was like, fuck, I'm not going to re-record like 45 minutes because my hair is slightly off, but I wanted to. I almost did, man. I was close. I almost did. One time I re-recorded a video. I think it was one of my recent ones. I re-recorded the entire video because there was a slight hum in the background, and it set me off. I couldn't. I think it was I had like, after I'd come back from the Dallas meetup, I took all my audio equipment and I had it different. I like tweaked the settings so it wasn't right on this setting, like this setup, so it was picking up an extra, like, room noise or something. God, I had to re-record the whole thing. Anyways, back to the movie. What were we talking about? Where were we? Oh yeah, the cool part. So they're smashing. He's having fun or whatever. But then those people in the beginning of the movie, they give him the two goats that are always screaming, and they're hilarious. They're so funny. Oh man, they are hilarious. So he talks to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling it anymore," or whatever. And then they're getting all these distress calls from people going like, "Oh my God, there's somebody killing all of our people," but they're like all over the galaxy. And then they see one that has Lady Sif. Lady Sif was supposed to be his love interest in the comics, but in the movie, he's like one of his friends, from the previous movies. She's in trouble. So he says, "Oh, I've got to go save her for sure." And then Chris Pratt says that we should split up because there's so many people in distress, like we can make more headway if we split up. So they end up parting ways, and they have that hilarious interaction where they're like, "Oh, handshake," and then the snakes. It's so damn. It is funny. If I've ever seen something funny, it is this. It is this for sure. So they do that. They separate. Thor takes his goats and the rock guy and his axe, and they head off to go save Lady Sif. And then they show up. He shows up to her place. Wherever, I don't even know where it was really. I think they're just having like once again, she had a battle in a vaguely empty location some hillside somewhere. And they're like, there's a god that was butchered in the distance. What is that? And then they look down and they go, oh my gosh, Lady Sif's there. So he runs up to her very seriously and like, there's dead people everywhere. Or at least I think there were. I don't really remember. I know that the god was definitely dead. So there was definitely a dead god in the background. She's laying there all hurt. She got blood. He goes down to her. Lady Sif, are you okay? Oh my gosh, your arm is gone. Like your arm had been cut off. And she's, yes. We had a battle. And he says, well, I'm going to save you. No, please don't save me because I need to die in battle. And so I can go to Valhalla. And then she's like very seriously saying this. I need to, very serious. Joke break. Joke break. Well, you need to be in the battle in order to go to Valhalla. And then she's like, well, that's really awkward for me to be in this situation right now. Kill me. Fucking kill me. I hate this style of joke. It is stupid. Dude, it's, I can't, Fantastic Mr. Knox for $5 Thor 4 leaks were spot on. Glad I'm not watching it. It just sounds like poo-poo. Also, every MCU stan says it's the best movie ever. Yeah, of course they will. We'll talk about that too. It feels like this is definitely going to make a lot of money. It's going to make a lot of money. A lot of people are going to like it. They're going to be like, I laughed so much. My gut busted. Fantastic Mr. Knox again for another $5. Thank you, sir. George! Good day. Good day, George. So every serious moment is undercut by a stupid joke. Every single one. It's relentless. It is relentless. It's a gauntlet. I have to say, it is a gauntlet of jokes. And damn, did I feel like I was gonna die. Yeah, Christian Bale was good. I wish he had more to do. I wish he was in it more. Because he did have, he had an interesting villain take. And I don't think I've seen Christian Bale do a villain since like American Psycho. I don't know. He's always a good guy. It's rare to see him as a villain. But I thought it was an interesting take, and he's always a good actor. But you could see it. It was like a fantastic actor acting in a school play almost at times. It was like, man, they don't deserve you. You should not be in this film. Why are you in this movie? Where were we? Oh yeah, Sif. So, cut to... at some point in here, they cut to, I think it's like right after Thor has the fight with, Thor separates from Guardians of the Galaxy. It cuts to Jane Foster. So Jane Foster is coming out of an X-ray machine, and then she's hooked up to chemotherapy, and she's having a conversation with this guy next to her that's like, for some reason, they like re-explain wormholes with the paper and the pencil through the paper. They name every movie that does it except for her Event Horizon. Did they mention Event Horizon? I can't remember. I feel like that would be shameful if they didn't mention that. And then Kat Dennings shows up for the only time. Thank God. I hate Kat Dennings as well. She annoys the shit out of me. Her voice is grating. And she was only in it for this one scene. Thank the heavens for that, because fuck. I don't know if I could handle any more Kat Dennings in this movie. She actually was like the best in the movie. Like, cause she was so in it like for like 2 seconds. She was in and out. Okay, didn't have time to fuck anything up. Her voice wasn't grating though. But she shows up and she's like, oh, you're doing this. You're working so hard because you're a science whammon. You know, you got the science. You're so sciencey. and you need to save the world with your science, but you have to work on yourself, okay? It's about you right now, because you have the cancer, and we need to get rid of that cancer. And then she says, you should use the Viking god card or whatever, because like I guess her plan is like, if you ask Thor, he'll help you in some way. I don't really know how the plan goes further than that. I think they know that Thor can't bring people back from, like, can't just cure that. I mean, maybe they could do something in Asgard, but now Asgard's not even around anymore. It's now just like a tourist town. But she's like, oh, you should invoke the Thor thing to help. She's like, no, I got to do this on my own. So then it does some more Thor stuff. Comes back, and this is where it cuts. That's right. This is where it cuts back to what happened after Sif. After Sif, he brings Sif to why do I say Valhalla? Asgard. Brings her to New Asgard, shows up, and there's like a fight already going on. They're like, oh, what's happened? Oh shit. So Valkyrie's out here doing her Valkyrie thing, killing people or whatever. And she's in like a hoodie and pajamas. It's horrendous. It is not pretty. Shows up. God Butcher's already shown up there. He's sending out his like shadow monster things. And they're having a big battle. Wait, am I skipping shit? I think I'm skipping shit. Fuck it. Who cares? There's a scene earlier on where it shows Asgard and its update, and it's like, oh, we see what King Valkyrie is doing, because she's a king, and being a queen is somehow lesser than being a king. Whatever. Woke logic, it don't make no sense. But anyways, she's there, she's doing her king thing, and she's helping people and whatnot. It's really shown that the town is more of a tourist town. People come there to see, oh, what is Asgard like, and what are the Asgardians like, and it's like a little thing. So then it shows the broken pieces, and oh my god, this is where it had the worst scene in the fucking movie. I almost skipped over this. I'm so glad I didn't go. I went back. I'm so glad it didn't skip this. The movie stops for like 5 minutes. Stops and has a play. A play of the last Thor movie, explaining how Odin died and how what's her name came, but it does it in that same stupid, tongue-in-cheek, embarrassed of the fact that it's a superhero movie kind of joke. Oh, it's Matt Damon playing Loki, and it's all like, haha. And then who comes through the portal after Odin dies? It's Melissa McCarthy. Haha. Oh my god. I love Melissa McCarthy. And it's like gouge your eyes out with a spoon. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional about this, but fuck. It was so fucking stupid. It was so stupid. And it stops the movie to a halt. Now we're watching a parody of a parody. That is what we are doing. We're watching a parody inside of a parody for 5 minutes straight, and it's trying to it's throwing those jokes at you. It is fucking tossing them like, God, and not a single one is landing. Somehow they're flying into the ether. No joke ever landed in this part. It's just me, okay? It's just me. But God, it was fucking horrible. Ah, God. Okay, George for $4.99. What about the pint-sized Greta Thunberg at the end? Who looks like they are going to make her the new Thorina. I had the same thought, man. I had the same thought. That's spoilers. We'll get to the last part, but what? Fuck it, whatever. At the end, he's got a daughter. Oh, man. He's got a daughter. And she's probably going to be Thor. The movie is very focused on... They mention Odin briefly, and then they have a parody of his death, make fun of it, because it's a big joke. Odin dies. But in the movie, they show, like, snippets of his growing up years. They show like he's a baby and he's going into battle and he's got a little hammer and he's on the chest of his mother and his mother goes out into battle. And then they jump to like different ages or whatever, right? Don't mention Odin. He's Thor Odin's son. Don't mention Odin in that opening, except for his dad died. Don't mention Odin. That's fine. But it's very like the Christian Bale has a daughter. All right, we open explaining how Thor's mother was fighting. It is all just like very, very in your face with it. Fantastic Mr. Knox for $5 from the Australias. So it's probably more. Also, once again, Beta Ray Bill gets shafted. Dude, again, why is he not in this? He should be in this. Heel versus Babyface, my brother. My brother Az from another land's mother. For $17.99 British pounds. Thank you, sir. I laughed from start to finish. A laugh a minute romp. Wanted to laugh more if I could, but I laughed myself out. Wow. What a laugh it was. Ha ha ha. Man, fantastic laughs all around, all day long, every second of the fucking movie. Chris Buston for $4.99. The non-stop honkiness. Honkiness. There's no in there. Hokiness in this movie made it terrible. Yeah. I left as soon as Russell Crowe's Zeus started talking because it was so freaking goofy. It was. We haven't even gotten to Russell Crowe yet. Haven't even gotten to him. What a fucking joke. George Molo for $9.99. Tell me you cringe when Lady Thor was called Lady. Oh my god. Was called Lady Thor by Gore, and she did the same crap she did in comics except say bitch. Yeah, that's right. They didn't add that part. Why didn't they do that? She went on the whole rant. Dude, it was cringe as hell. I laughed out loud, but nobody else laughed because I'm the only one that keeps up with this shit. I was like, "Pa!" That was the one thing I did laugh, like genuinely laugh, was that moment. Gore at the end. Spoilers. Gore at the end he's like beating her, right? After she's come. Thor is beating her, but not really. After Thor was not able to beat Gore, she had to come in and, I got this. Literally says, nah, it's fine. I got this. Thor, God of Thunder, the God of Thunder. Not able to do it, but she got it. She got it. He grabs her and is like, he calls her Lady Thor. Shit. It is Mighty Thor, which I don't know when we established that. Was that her catchline or catchphrase or whatever? There's like some running joke through line about her catchphrases not being good or something. But she's, I'm Mighty Thor. And if not that, it's Dr. Jane Foster. Take that, you white male. You evil white male. Once again, in a Marvel product, the man that the movie is named after, the superhero, is standing off to the side while the woman comes in and defeats the villain of the film. They did it in freaking Doctor Strange. They did it in this shit. That would be like, okay, Spider-Man, No Way Home. That would be like Spider-Man is about to like kick Green Goblin's ass. He's got the glider and he's about to throw it down and he goes to throw it, and instead of Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man comes up. It's MJ. That, no. She grabs it. She says, no, this isn't the way, Peter. And then she grabs it, and then she turns and kills Green Goblin anyways. Oh my god. Like, it is. Why does he keep doing this? Why do they keep fucking doing it? But it's gonna be explained. Well, no, but like he was the one that like went in there and talked to Gore, and that's how like, he really defeated him because of like feels and love and blah blah blah. Anyways, let's jump back. Where was I? So he's landed in Asgard. Asgard's being beaten up by Gore and his minions. He talks to what's her name? King Valkyrie. And then he sees in the distance there's like this lightning thing that goes pew. Oh no, wait, I skipped a part. Well, there's an earlier part where Natalie Portman shows up to Asgard and sees the smashed hammer, and then it like reacts to her, and now she's Thor. So right. Then we see the lightning in the distance. He goes, "Who's the new guy?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you're gonna love him." Pronouns, by the way. She fucked those pronouns up. Although now is she Thor? So she's a man. Whatever. He goes over to see it, and he sees Mjolnir flying around, and he's like, "Oh, Mjolnir, come back to me." Oh, and he goes to grab it, and then we see the thing that happens in the trailer. It goes back to her, and he's like, "Whoa." And at first he doesn't believe it's Jane, and he's like, "You're an imposter. You're trying to take my look and whatnot." And then she takes off her helmet, and he does that stupid Jane. That was a pretty damn good fucking impression of that. It was pretty damn good. So then they meet, and it's all awkward because I guess they broke up, and then we do a big flashback of their relationship and how they grew apart. It's fucking boring as shit. That is all so boring. So the Gore steals all of the children, and that's our driving plot is, oh, we gotta save the children. We gotta save all the diverse Asgardian children. So he gets Lady Thor and Valkyrie and Rock Guy and the goats. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. And they're like trying to come up with a plan. And they're like, I don't know what we're going to do. Where are we going to find the kids? Or where could they be? And then he like remotes into Idris Elba's son, which now all of a sudden he has a son, which we didn't know about before, but okay. He's got a son now, and he can remote into his eyes. So he remotes in there, and then he shows up as like a force ghost. And he's like, "Oh, where are you? You guys must be in the shadow realm." And he's talking to him and whatnot. And he goes back. And they're trying to make a plan. How are we going to get there? I don't know how, blah, blah. Why don't we go to the Colosseum of fucking all the gods or some shit? And maybe Zeus, and like Thor says, he's like, every god you could think of is at this place. And except for me, by the way, which is, well, I'm Thor. Why shouldn't I be there? I feel like I should be there. It's like all the gods are at this place, and maybe they'll help us. And it even has Zeus, the best god of all, and like my hero Zeus goes to they scream goat all the way to this fucking place. And for some, I don't know why they're sneaking around. I don't know if it was explained in the movie. I may have blacked out. But they're sneaking around this god place as if they aren't all gods themselves. Like Thor is a god. Lady Thor's a god. Valkyrie's not technically a god, I guess. And neither's a rock guy. So maybe they would have to sneak around, but why would Thor and Thor have to sneak around? Doesn't really explain it. And then, so they're sitting in the big Colosseum thing, and Zeus comes down, and it's Russell Crowe. It's fat Russell Crowe. And he's doing this stupid accent that's silly. It's like a silly Italian-ish Russian accent. I don't really know what it was, but it was silly for sure. It was, oh man, gut busting laughing. All right, it was so funny. And he tries to get the help of Zeus, and Zeus does the thing that the first god did in the beginning. He denies him, and he makes fun of him, and he makes him all naked, and everybody talks about his dick, and it's real funny. And he denies, and he's like, we're not going to help. And then the Lady Thor and King Valkyrie come over, and they like start fighting everybody, and there's a big fight. And once again, there's that circular stage area that they're all having this fight in, where about 30 feet in the background there are objects that are real, right? It's just they all have that same empty feel, but this is like an empty stage that they're fighting on. Ends up killing because Zeus throws down his lightning bolt, and they're like, "Look, hey, could you at least?" He like said, "Hey, we need to help," and he says, "No, we're not going to help because we're all safe here, and why would we go fight him because he could kill us when we could just be safe here?" So they deny him, and he says, "Well, could we just borrow the thunderbolt?" And then he does all this for a long time. Does the spinny trick act thing where he like spins it up and he catches it behind his back and he snaps it in half and he tosses it up and he spins it around and he does the way too long. And then he just says no at the end. Then they keep asking and he says no, and then they're fighting and shit, and then the rock guy goes up to try and do something, but then Zeus kills him. Well, we find out that he doesn't actually die. He's not really dead. He's just a mouth. Then Thor turns around, throws the lightning bolt, and kills Zeus, but doesn't really kill him. You see it later. Later in the credits, he's not really dead. He's talking to like Hercules or some crap. I don't know. I was just counting the seconds until I could leave the theater. So they get the lightning bolt. They're getting out of there. But the Kroga dude is busted up. So they're like down a team member. So now they just have the two girls and Thor. They got Thor, and King. They're like, what are we going to do? And this is where they take a stop. They stop in the movie and they have more like relationship stuff. And they're like kissing now. And she's like, oh, I've got cancer. And he's like, oh, that's so sad. Why you got cancer? And then they have their kissy like romance part. And this is where the film decides to drop in the gay scene. Because you heard Natalie Portman said Thor is the gayest MCU movie. There's no other gayer movie. This is the gayest. Although I would argue Eternals was very gay. And not in the sense of like homosexual, in the sense of like it is not good. In the sense of 1990s term saying something was gay. That kind of gay. I'm definitely missing Super Chats. This movie just fucking pissing me off too much. Abe Robertson for $8.99 British pounds. I'm getting a lot of British viewers. Good morning. Hope you're enjoying your tea. Hi, Garrett. Take my money. I will take that money because you offer it. And I very much appreciate it. George Bolo for $4.99. Thank you, George. As a geek, I can say I was cracking up laughing at Russell Crowe's French-style Greek accent. I was confused at what that accent was. I was confused. But I mean, he does play an asshole god, which Zeus kind of was an asshole god, so it made sense. Miners are called for $2. Word up, Quarter Black. I just got out of work. Oh, dang. Working that night shift. Ladar for 129 Czechoslovakian dollarinos. I am trying to work out, and you keep making me laugh. Stop it. You're funnier than that movie. Yeah, I'm sad. I don't want to be funnier than that movie. I don't. I wish I watched a movie that was funny and that didn't want to make me gouge out my eyes. Hill versus Babyface. What's up? For $17.99. Can I get a yeah? Thank you. Sorry, I think I failed to convey how much I laughed during this film. It was a singular, uncontrollable belly laugh that rebounded through the walls of the cinema. I laughed so much. As did I. Oh shit! Oh yeah, I did get a donation from Kung Fu Hot Dog. Thank you, sir, for $3 on the donation side. Hey Garrett, what badass T-shirt are you wearing? Lady Sif is a 50-pound joke, and to thank John Campria wanted Jamie Alexander, who plays her, to be Wonder Woman instead of Gal Gadot or Gadot or whatever. Did they use any Van Halen songs in this film? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they did. Which is, I actually think is good. I'm glad they didn't. I actually like Van Halen. Guns N' Roses all over this shit. I'm sorry, I don't like Guns N' Roses. I know a lot of people do. I know you guys are already unsubscribing. Look, I'm sorry. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like it. Welcome to the... Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't like it. What was... Well, this is a Wang shirt. You don't know who Wang is. He's a YouTuber. Makes a lot of great videos about disgusting Reddit shit. But he's very good. Where were we? We have the lightning bolt, right? They get out, they have their this is where they drop the gay scene that they could easily cut out. They have Korg and he's talking about love and he's like, "My two dads, how they made me is they held hands in a fucking volcano and that's how they make a little boy." So I guess all rock people are boy, I don't know. But it's like, "Oh, I got two dads." And then immediately she's sad and she's like, "I don't know if I want love anymore." And he says, "Is that because your girlfriend died on the battlefield? Your woman?" Turns to the camera and goes, "She's a lesbian. Did you get it? She's a lesbian." Okay. Move on. And they did, like, that's it. And there's like a small scene earlier where they're escaping from the god temple place. And she, like, kisses the hand of some chick. But really, it could just be, I don't know. They just, like, threw it in there, like, "Oh, lesbian. Get it? Remember? You remember? You're on top of it. You're on top of it." Audience. Glad we got that in there. So that's where they showed that. And then this is where they're on their way to the Shadow Realm or wherever the bad guy is that they figured out where the kids are. He remotes into the kid's eyes again, and he shows up there as a spirit ghost where the kids are. And he's having a very serious conversation with the kids about being scared and how they're Asgardians and they need to work as a team to like get through this. And it's very, very sad. And it's like, "Oh, I've been scared before," and all this like very, very serious moment. And then he starts going like, and then it cuts to back to the ship where King Valkyrie's like tickling his nose. Oh, it's so fucking funny. You get it because it was a serious scene, right? But now it's a funny scene. Laugh. Please laugh. Please, God, laugh at our product. Because if you don't laugh, I don't know. You may not give us billions of dollars. It was a series. I was really close to being like, "Oh man, like this almost is a good scene where it's serious and it's talking about like the kids trying to get out of this bad situation." And then you're thinking about, man, this is, kids being kidnapped and what that could be as a kid. And then, oh, he's tickling his nose. Tickling his nose, man. So silly. So they get to the Shadow Realm. And this is where I think they run into the planet or whatever, and the goat screams, and that's like the one moment that I kind of giggled because of the timing of it. They get there, everything's all black and white, and I'm thinking, damn, is the movie already over? Like, I hope so, but this feels like ending movie stuff. But it's not. Still has 45 minutes to go. They show up, they go into this place that's a vaguely empty location. So on and so forth. They go into this tent, and it's Gore's tent. They're like, "Wait, the kids aren't here. The gate, like the cage that they were in, they're not there." They go into his tent. They rummage around this weak-ass set. It looked like they went to fucking a sporting goods store and bought giant tents and set that, like the tent fabric? That's what it looked like. It just looked lame. It looked bad. They go in this tent. And then, of course, Lady Thor is the one that finds the answer. She goes in, she sees all of these drawings all put everywhere, because Gore, for some reason, has to outwardly draw his drawings to explain. And she looks at the stuff and she's like, I forgot to explain this thing. There's like this infinity god. This is actually really important for Gore's motivation. I'll get to it later. But it is this infinity god that the first person that gets to him can make a wish. So I'm assuming the way they explain it, only one person gets a wish from infinity. Like the first person that gets to him, they get one wish and that's it. Like nobody after that. Because if that was the case, it makes some giant problems. And we'll get to that further down in the description of this movie. So she looks at these things and she's like, somehow she deciphers Thor's axe uses the Bifrost, and Gore needs the axe to use the Bifrost to get to to open up the gate that will take him to the Infinity God. Or not Infinity, they call it something like Infinity. I can't remember what it was. So she figures all this out and she's like, I know it's a trick to get Thor to come here so they could bring the axe and then he'd use the Bifrost. So she takes it and she throws it into the sky. And Thor's like, why did you throw that in the sky? Just wait. And then that's whenever the bad guy comes out. And then he explains like, oh, I've got to kill, whatever. And then they fight. That's the part in the script where it says they fight. On a vaguely empty location. They have this big fight. It's fine. I guess it's fine. But they are able to get away, and he calls the Bifrost to fly away. He's like, we can't kill him. We need him alive. But he stabs King Valkyrie in the back. Stabbed. She's out. And Lady Thor is coughing up and has no energy because she's got cancer. Because I didn't explain, the Thor magic doesn't cure her cancer. She's like unchanged. So whenever she turns out she goes into Thor mode and outside of Thor mode and she becomes Thor, but it doesn't actually help her with cancer. Find that out. So during this big climactic fight, she loses her energy and she's on the ground. So she's out. It's just Thor. So Thor like gets them both, and then the goats are there, and he just, Bifrost, take me to wherever. So he goes, but Gore grabs the axe just in time, and then he takes it. So he gets the axe. They get away. Oh man, she's stabbed and hopefully dead, but she's not dead. Totally fine. Not dead at all. Totally fine. King Valkyrie's totally fine. She's got cancer, so she's in a bed now, and she's looking all gaunt because she's got cancer, right? Did I convey that she has cancer? And we're like, oh no, so sad. Of course, undercut by joke. Every time I say some kind of serious shit or sad shit, there's a Marvel joke right under it. He's looking at her and he's like, I'm gonna go take care of Gore because I have the lightning bolt. That's all I have now. Obviously I don't have my axe, but I have the lightning bolt. I'm gonna take the lightning bolt. I'm gonna go find him and get the kids back. And she's like, no, but I want to help you. And somehow they explain in the last 5 seconds of the movie that if she does Thor if she turns into Thor one more time, that is going to be the last time that she is going to live. Like, it's going to drain her power and make her even weaker, and that's the final, like, if you do it one more time, Jane Foster, if you do it one more time, you will die. And I can't have that. And of course you're like, yeah, she's gonna do it one more time and save the day, right? So he leaves her there at the hospital. He goes to King Valkyrie, and King Valkyrie is like, yeah, this is literally how she does it. Yeah, I've got a stab wound and I'm not gonna be able to make it. Good job. Good luck. Hope you do it. That's the scene. So then he like teleports to the gate. And now Gore's at the gate and he's got the kids there and he's about to open it. Thor shows up right whenever some crap's like falling down on top of him and he catches it like Hercules in the Hercules movie. And they're like, "Oh, I knew you'd show up and save us." And this actually, now there was the beginning scene where he was like whooping alien ass and kicking shit and like blowing up bikes and shit. And that was like, whoa, this is a cool scene. This is like a comic book cool scene. That scene and this scene are the only scenes that ever felt interesting and fun. He takes the kids. He says, "Kids, go out and find something to hold in your hand, like any kind of weapon, because we're gonna have to fight." And they're like, "We can't fight." And he says, "You're Asgardians." And he's like, "Oh, we're not." And he's like, "You're all Asgardians." So it's like this team building thing. Go find something to use as a weapon. And then he like does this, imbues all of their objects with the power of Thor for a time. And all of the kids end up fighting these shadow beasts. And that was the only moment I was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun," you know? I could see being a kid and watching this and going like, "Oh, what if I had the power of Thor for just a moment to fight off this evil?" And I was like, okay, that's not bad. And there were some cool shots and choreography or whatever. But then it gets fucking lame because Thor goes up against Gore. He can't handle Gore. He's literally about to die. He's got the sword fucking like about to stab him. And of course, Lady Thor comes in and saves the day. She beats his ass and he's like, "I need to stop the gate from opening." And she's like, "That's fine because I've totally got Gore. No problem here. Totally got him. Even though you were literally just going to die, I've got him on my own." So she's fighting him. He's over there trying to talk to his axe because they're having a weird relationship thing. It makes sense if you ever watch the movie, but they have some weird like non-verbal relationship. Oh, I forgot to explain. The reason that Jane Foster is Thor now is because whenever they were dating, he asked Mjolnir to protect her. So it's trying to protect her by draining her power, like her physical ability to fight off. So it doesn't really make sense. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. It's like, I'm going to save you by draining your power. Whatever. So she comes in, holds him off. He's trying to talk to his axe to get it to stop opening the gate, and it doesn't do it in time, and it opens the gate. But it gives Lady Thor time to get her little Lady Thor shit out and says, "I'm Mighty Thor. Call me Dr. Jane Foster." And she destroys Gore's sword. His magical sword, smashes it in half. It destroys itself, and then it starts to try to piece itself together, but then she's got it. No, she's got it, because she uses her shotgun Mjolnir move to like pull all the pieces together, and then she like looks at Thor, and Thor looks at her, and he's like, "Don't do it, because you're gonna die. Look, we both know that you're gonna die if you do this." And she's like, "I am Thor!" And she blows up the Mjolnir and the sword and whatnot, and it dissolves. And Gore loses his power. But had enough energy to walk his ass into that portal. So he's in the portal. Now the two of them are in the portal as well. Somehow they get sucked into the portal. I don't know why all three of them got sucked into the portal whenever he was the only one that walked. Aside that, they go into this vaguely empty location. Sensing a theme here. Go into this location. The guy, Gore, is up with the god, and he's like, "God, I'm going to wish for something." But then Thor steps in and says, "Don't wish the thing that we all think you're going to wish. We all think that he's going to wish that he's going to kill all the gods." Which at this point doesn't sound that bad. Okay? Does not sound like a bad proposition. But he talks to him and he says this line, and he's talking about like, don't wish for that, because what you really need is love, and bullshit theme. So then he turns back, and like, you know, Lady Thor, obviously, like Jane Foster's like laying there, she's dying. So Thor's like, "I'm not gonna defeat you right now because I'd rather be with my ex-girlfriend that dumped me. I'd rather be with her for the last few seconds of her life instead of fighting you. So I'm going to turn because of love. Oh, gets me right in the dead heart. He turns to her, goes to her. Now, Thor, he makes a wish. And he wishes for his daughter to come back because he wished for love. And he's like, I'm gonna die. So he's dying on the ground. His daughter, blank face again. Just no emotion on her face. Looks down at her now dying father after I don't know if she remembers dying. I guess she's carrying over the emotion from when she died to now. And she just looks at him blankly and goes, as he passes away from this earth. She just blank faces him. So then he's like, Gore turns over to Thor and is like, you need to take care of my daughter. And then Thor says, yes, I will take care of your daughter. So now we have a little lady Thor, basically is what this is. Because she has her own powers. She has like mystical powers from the god entity. Now, I want to break down Gore's motivation. His whole motivation is like the beginning. He's a great worshiper. He's the final worshiper of this god. He finds out that this god is an asshole, so he renounces all gods and he thinks that they're all evil, duplicitous beings, so he wants to kill them all, right? Because he doesn't trust them. He does not trust them. So his ultimate plan is to trust another god with a wish. It's like, that makes no fucking sense. The opening of the movie literally has him like crawling and going, please, can you, doing the same motion, like the same raising of his hands to a god that then fails him and creates this monster. And then his whole plan is to go up to another god and raise his hands and wish for something. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We leave that. Now we get transported back to, I guess, the hospital or something. I don't know. I'm not going to say the phrase, but you know what I mean. Grassy area. Let's call it that. Grassy area. He shows up. Thor's there, and Jane Foster is now like in Jane Foster clothes, and she coughs because she has cancer. Then she dies. Or no, she died before. No, yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot. She's a god, right? So she dies, and she like twiddles away in the dust like Odin did. That's what happened. I forgot about that. So he shows back up, and it's like all wrap up of the movie. Trying to remember even what happens at the fucking end of this. I think it cuts away and it comes back on Grog or Grook or whatever his fucking name is, the rock guy, and he's telling it, oh, the mighty Thor, let me tell you the story of the mighty Thor, blah, 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 Jane Foster, she protected and saved the whole world. Like, it ends on a fucking Jane Foster is so awesome tangent. And then it cuts to, well, Thor is now Dad Thor, and he's taking care of this little girl. Gore's resurrected. Who knows if it's even really, this could be like a monkey's paw thing where she like, he asks to bring his daughter back, but maybe his daughter's not even really his daughter. Maybe his daughter's like possessed by some darkness. Who knows? Thor's taking care of her though. And she's sassy. She is sassy. All right. Don't you give me no pancakes. She's sassy. And we find out that they both have like, he has Mjolnir back, and now she's using Stormbreaker, but she's like drawing little cutesy shit on Mjolnir. It's like, whatever, fine. And they're fighting together as Thor, Love and Thunder. Credits. There's a mid-credit scene with Odin. Odin is like talking and saying how everybody doesn't respect the gods and nobody, like, we've become a joke and shit. And he says like, I want this to be done, like, dealt with and whatever. And then it cuts to some random actor. I've never seen this actor ever. Like, it wasn't a crazy reveal. I've never seen this guy before. Maybe I just don't know Italian actors or something, but it's like some guy playing Hercules. Like, yes, I hear you, father. And then it cuts to black. And then the last scene is Jane Foster showing up to Valhalla with Idris Elba, and that's it. That's just the two of them standing on a bridge with a vaguely empty background. But that was the ending credits. Doesn't set anything up for the future, really, except for the Hercules bit. But it's not that, like, it's not like crazy high stakes or anything. Unless they're going to try to make Hercules a very high stakes thing, which I don't think they will. I don't think they will. But that's kind of the only thing they set up in this movie. So in that, I'm okay with that aspect of the movie just being a contained story that doesn't try and set something else up. But if as like a series movie like the MCU is, it doesn't set anything up at all for next thing. So there's that. Just out of the sheer fact that it just doesn't mention anything else happening outside of this specific movie. But man, was that movie fucking horrible. I think I hate it more now. I hate it more now that I've explained it out loud to all of you and myself. I hate it more now. I came out of the movie thinking 5 at best, 4.5 realistically for me. And I think now that I've re-explained it, it's more like a 3. It's more like a 3. That fucking movie, man. It is so stupid. Just the gore bit, his motivation in the movie is so backwards and like against his whole being. I realized it whenever I was sitting. I was like, okay, he's gonna make a wish at this thing, but then the whatever it is, I thought it was just gonna be some location that could give you a wish kind of thing. I didn't realize it was going to be another god. Once I realized that, he's like in front of this god, and I'm like, that is his fucking, his whole motivation. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's scroll up. Matthew Spathis, I see you there, bro. Matthew Spathis for $5. Quarter, watch out. Az is waiting with a knife to stab you in the back. Get him before he gets you. Oh, wait. Wrong stream. Oops. Well, Az is here. I'm watching. I'm waiting. The anti-band became a Dollar Menu member. Thank you. $2. I'm sorry. It's Biden's America. That means it's double. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the president of the best economy in history. Good Lord, I can't believe they said that. Fantastic, Mr. Knox, for $5 Australian. Thank you, sir. So instead of pounding meat, it's pounding rocks. Got it. MCU. I got it. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe his race does have all male. All right, whatever. It's funny. Funny in a non-haha way. Funny in a smells like shit funny way. Miners are gone for $2. I can't wait to not see that movie. I wish I didn't. Andre Medalski for 100 Czechoslovakian pesos. Good morning, Garrett. This kind of sounds like a retarded comedy. It is a fucking retarded comedy. You got it right. So you want to tell me that Discount Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat has the same thing like Wonder Woman 84 villain with that wish thing? Kind of. It's definitely a MacGuffin, but it doesn't, because his thing is like, I want to get to this wish so I can make a wish and kill all the gods. So I guess it's kind of a similar idea. Only in the aspect of it that it's a wish, not that it has like the monkey's paw thing. Although who knows? Who knows? It could be, but we're just going to completely trust that this God replaced his daughter exactly, and it's not some kind of dark entity. I will totally believe that. But that was the movie. Most of it, very boring, unfunny, undercuts every serious moment that it has. Villain's motivation is stupid. Oh, I'll get to the point. The other big giant kind of plot hole is this God entity can give one wish and one wish only, because if it was like every person that gets to this God gets a wish, then why wouldn't Thor just get a wish to go, hey, I wish that Jane Foster didn't have cancer anymore? It had to be like only one wish. You only get one out of all of the millions of years of existence and all of the galaxies. One person gets one wish. And the way to open the gate to get this wish is with the Bifrost, which we've had for over a decade. If not actually longer, because the Bifrost is just used for the first time in Thor. But it's existed before that. So Thor could have theoretically gone to this place at any point and made a wish, because he had that power the whole time. So, fantastic Marvel product, and I can't wait for next Marvel product. I cannot wait. Discount Genie, yeah. And I think it's going to do really well. I looked at every movie theater in my area. It's like 4 or 5 in my area. I went through all of the show times. It was packed. It was fucking packed. I had to buy makeout seats in the very, very, very top back, which ended up not being that bad because we were in a small theater, because all the other ones were full. So it ended up not being that bad, but it was like only front seats and only very, very back seats. So I think it's going to do very well. It's probably going to break $1 billion. It's got that Marvel comedy, you know, it hits right there in the middle. It does it. It hits that middle. It doesn't offend anybody, and it doesn't make anybody feel too funny or too sad or too scared. Right there in the middle. Hit all those points. So I think a lot of normies are going to be like, I love Marvel product. Marvel product is best. It is best. It is best, okay? It's better than last Marvel product. And by God, I think the next Marvel product is going to be better than this one. I don't know how. Oh my God, I don't know how. But somehow they do it every time. They make it better every time. And if you think otherwise, you're a racist. I don't know how, but you are a racist. The anti-ban for $10 more. Hiya! Here is the money you saved me not driving to be let down. Thank you. I'm so sad that I watched that movie. Okay, I'll say something positive about the movie. All right, I will say something positive. It ended. No, Chris Hemsworth is good. You know, but I mean, he's Chris Hemsworth. He's charismatic and he's good as Thor. Those 2 scenes were good. The opening scene where he had to fight, and then the end scene where the kids fought with him, that was cool. Those were good scenes. Those were good comic book scenes. But the whole movie felt like it was embarrassed to be a comic book movie. Like, it was... Thor is so fucking stupid. Isn't he? The idea of a comic book movie is so like, being heroes, silly. It's like they tried to be like, make a comic book movie but not respect any of it at all or take it seriously in any way. Don't be earnest. You know, whenever the first Thor movie came out, I was not a fan of that movie. I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was cheesy. But now it's a fucking masterpiece because it treats the source material with seriousness. It's like, this is Thor. This is the world. We're taking this shit seriously. This is Asgard. I'm not, this is Asgard. It's Asgard. This is Asgard. He is a god. He has superpowers. This is a real world. And this just makes it such a fucking parody and joke. Like, I can't take any of this shit seriously. I'm like, she's dying right here. And I'm like, everything was a joke up until this moment. So why would I take this moment seriously? Yeah. So those are the only things I liked about it, was Chris Hemsworth and those two fights. Outside of that, it was, yeah, just really, really, really boring. Really, really boring. Okay. I think that was a good stream. I'm glad I could get that out, okay? I needed to say something. I could just sit here and stew on this. I was like, there's something that's kind of bugging me about this movie. I find it very boring, but there's something there. Just something there. And I needed to get it out. And I'm glad you guys were here to hang out with me and talk this fucking movie. Fuck. It's therapeutic. Miners a crun for $2. Did you guys hear about JP? Oh, dude, I did hear about the Japanese PM. I heard he got shot. I have not heard that if he's passed away or not, but I did hear that he was like attempted assassination. I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Japanese PM? What? Freaking what? All right, lads and lasses, I'm gonna go to sleep. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to sleep, and I will see you on Friday Night Tights tomorrow, or or today, for a lot of you Brits. You guys are already awake. What are you guys doing awake? And why is Az awake? You should be asleep. You're having sleep. You were talking on Twitter saying you couldn't go to sleep. Now you're awake. Go to sleep. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out at 3 a.m. with me, talking about this dumbass movie, this Marvel product, and yeah. Oh, let's finish it up with this right here. Rage Quit for $9.99. Hiya. Thank you. Hell, Quarter Black. Quarter Black risks a brain tumor so we don't have to. Quarter Black is the hero we need. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Just sitting there just with an aneurysm, just waiting to pop. I'm not kidding. I stone-faced that whole fucking movie. I was just like, not a single thing landed. All right, you guys have a good morning, evening, or night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm raising. I'm standing. That's right. Even at 3 a.m, the Chads don't sleep. It's the Chad Show. The show after the show. That's all about Joe and the chat. And you guys are the Chads. You guys stay together, all right? You guys come together and stay here at the end of the you should be, if any other time, you guys should be sleeping is right now. It's 3 in the a.m. 4 in the a.m. for some people. Brian, you Chad. And it says good night on the screen. That's like, obviously, I should be clicking away right now. It's subliminally telling you, click away, go away, show's over. We're done. But not you. You don't live by society's rules, man. You look at a screen that says goodnight and you say, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm my own person, all right? I stay up till 4 in the morning. At the end of streams, reading beautiful channel members' names. That's right. So let's say hello to some of you Chads. And I saw a couple Chads dropping a freaking super chat after the show is over, which is a crazy Chad thing to do, and that's why I appreciate you so much. Minders are crawling for $2. Stay, quarter black homie. Well, I hope you're here, because I stayed. That's right. Darth Vader, Chad. You Chad for $10. Let's get a hiya. Can I get a hiya? Thank you. We appreciate your sacrifice, good sir. Thank you. I appreciate that you appreciate. You know? Thank you. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I'm not shitting you. I was at a funeral today. And I that was a bad way to end the day. Going to see that movie. I was like, maybe it'll be good. Who knows? Be great. It would be great at the end of the day after having a funeral and being sad and talking about how great somebody was and they're not here anymore. We could end the movie with a good movie. Or in the movie of life on this day with a good film. That was not the case. That was not the case. Let's continue to say hello. Late Art! You Chad, you. Look at you. Eating your breakfast right now, probably. Probably eating it right now. Benevolent Dreams. What's up, Chad? Here after the show. Why? It's freaking late, bro. The Anti-Ban. Chad. Subvert X. Chad. Google Plus sucks balls. What did Google Plus do to you except for being a horrible, evil, giant corporation? Diesel. What's up, brother? J-Mac. Chad. It's only 10 p.m. Oh, that's right. You live off in an island. 10 p.m. Ain't even time to go to bed yet. Matthew. Simmered. Chad. Weasel. Chad. Ken. Sleazy. What is beer? Beard. BR, like almost like a Mr. But it's a BR. Beer J. Chad. Paul Turner. What's up, Chad? Voodoo. Chad. What's up, Chad? John. Chad. Anthony. Chad. Darth Melkor. Chad. Did I miss anybody? I don't want to miss any Chads. Grandfall Chad. Ken Lipson Chad. Andre Madowski, what a Chad move! Throwing in a super Chad back here at the end for 50. Czechoslovakian Dollarinos. Thank you for funny morning. Some support from 10 a.m., man, to this 3 a.m. Chad. Thank you, bro, and I hope you have a good day. I hope you go out and you spread that Chad energy. Spread it out all day in the Czech Republic. Ken. What's up? Chad. Lewis Lord, Chad. Crazy Joe, Chad. I went down to the low register for that one. Late Art, my Czechoslovakian brothers and sisters. What's up? For 129 Czechoslovakian Dollarinos. They're not super chats. They're super chads. Yeah, they change. They change after that goodnight screen comes up. They become something more. Not the super chads that we deserve. The chuper chads. The chuper chads that we need right now. Miners are crawling. You know, I was on an Adam's stream. We were doing Base Staff Monday, and you shot in 2 super chats, and he said it in a different way, and I didn't notice you at first, and I was like, oh wait, that's Miner. What did he say? Like Ziacron? He probably says it more accurately. For $2, can't wait for FNT. It's going to be sweet. Yeah, it's going to be good. Elijah Schaefer. It's going to be fun. Charlie D'Angelo, what's up? You're Chad. Slick Ricky, Chad. Still here, bro. That's right. That's right. Pickle Ricky. Pickle Ricky, you Chad. Okay. All right, Chads. I'm gonna send you off with this. I want you guys that are still on the side of the earth that is dark. I want you to lay your little Chad heads down, all right? And I want you to get rested. Because tomorrow, I want you to go out there and kick some ass in a safe and consensual way. All right? Kick some ass figuratively with your Chad energy. And for everybody that's on the side of the earth that the sun is pointing at, all you British people, you limeys, all you Czechoslovakians, all you people of other locations that are now in the daytime, I want you to go out now and send out that Chad energy, because somebody out there needs it. I'm telling you, right? That somebody needs love. All right? Somebody needs love. Because that's what I want to say at the end of the movie, even though that's not really been the message of the movie until this point. But now, that's what I'm going to say. You need love. Fucking movie sucked. Darth Vader for $2. But I just got up at 6 p.m. Damn, that's some Chad energy. Got the late shift coming up. All right, guys, you have a good evening, noon, or night, or morning, whatever it is. I hope it's a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow on FNT. For real, this time I'm leaving. All right, bye.